In the valleys of France, a bold newly hatched male ladybug named Cox is bullied by a group of flies led by the childish Tuffet, and attempts to fly away, but they chase after him. He crashes into a rock and into a crevice, knocking him out and breaking off a wing. Unable to fly and locate his family, Cox shelters in a tin for the night. The tin is full of sugar cubes. Part of an abandoned picnic, having its owners abandon it due to them rushing to the city for their new baby to arrive. In the morning, various bugs have raided on the picnic's bounty and are busy carrying off the spoils when Cox, now an adult, gets up to join them in their heist. A foraging patrol of black ants find the kitchen and start carrying off the tin, with Cox still inside, whom they find and allow him to join them after he fends them off from a hungry lizard while crossing a stone wall, to their busy nest. The ants encounter a patrol of red ants led by the fearful Buter, who try to stop them so they can get their food, so the black ants try to give them a sugar cube as a peace offering, but they pursue them anyway for the rest of the sugar, due to them not satisfied with what they got. The black ants escape by sliding down an embankment and into a river, on board the top of the tin, sending them on a wild ride. Cox falls overboard and the ants rescue him from a hungry pike named Boboche. The red ants drag them downstream in a soda can. They all go over a waterfall and the tin washes up on the shore, while the soda can and Boboche sink down onto the river bottom. The black ants pick up the sugar cubes and start hauling them back to their nest. After hauling themselves onto land and find the tin empty, Buter's patrol continue to follow them until they break up while following the black patrol onto a road, leaving Buter all by himself to find the anthill, and report back to his colony and nest, while his patrol run back home all together. On the journey, Cox becomes friends with the patrol's leader, Mandible. He meets another family of flying ladybugs Cox tries to join, with one female Cox falls in love with, but unable to fly with them on one wing, Mac has the decision to remain with the ants as his new family. After the long and arduous journey, they arrive at the busting big city nest where Mandible invites him to join the colony until they find Cox's family. And they present their hoard of food to the queen in the gallery. At midnight, he dreams of flying with both families and his girlfriend, wakes up and tests its wings. His wing and strength is regrowing slowly and steady. But he still can't fly. The next morning, Buter, his patrol and the entire red ant colony arrive with a gigantically massive army and besiege the black ant's nest by bombarding and destroying it using weapons and try to ram the front door, sometimes killing both kinds of ants in the process. The black ants use their own weapons, including dropping objects on them to knock them out and crush them, or setting off fireworks which incinerates and kills some red ants when exploded, but they don't have any more matches to light the rest. Cox remembers that there was a box of matches at the abandoned picnic. And now able to fly, even though the ants make a paper plane for him, escapes the red ant siege, and sets off into the forest to retrieve them. At the now empty picnic area, Cox finds the matchbox but isn't strong enough to fly back with it. A tiny black male spider runs off with the matchbox and takes it to its dollhouse in a savage, which his parents warned him about. Cox follows anyway and sneaks into the house. A frog named Jean-Paul tries to eat them for dinner by grabbing them with its tongue through a window, but the duo fight back and the house topples onto Jean-Paul, seemingly crushing and killing him off-screen and knocking Cox out in the process, as he has an actual dream about the other family leaving behind his girlfriend. After a night's rest, and grapes for breakfast, Cox is feeling better. After he makes a bond with the spider, Cox persuades him to let him have the matches and sets out with them back to the nest. Cox stops on the way to save his lover from Tuffet's gang, which are all killed and knocked out after an open chase ends up with them ramming into an automobile, with the ladybugs getting the last laugh. They have a wedding and a honeymoon in the valley before Cox leaves her to resume his mission. He returns to the besieged fortress, which has now been half demolished. With their new matches, the black ants fire off their remaining weapons, incinerating and wiping out parts of the red ant population and starting a wildfire that drives their entire colony away to their anthill in defeat, with Butter swearing revenge on the heroes. A fire and rescue plane patrol arrives and extinguish the wildfire, saving Cox and the entire black ant colony, but flattening the nest into a tiny hill of mud in the process. They all emerge from the basement and begin rebuilding, while Cox leaves back to the meadow to raise his new family with its lover. A few years later, they return to the newly rebuilt ant nest and Cox sits with his old friend, as they watch the sunset, and their next adventures are just beginning.